I thought this was an interesting video to check out. It's called Everything Wrong with AI. Let's hear it from Gabby Bell.
Do I even
Let's check
start?
it out.
Do I start with Microsoft forcing a feature that takes screenshots of everything you do on
What?
your PC every 5 seconds and puts it into an easily searchable database? Do I start with
What?
art contests being taken over by AI art? Or do I start with companies quietly updating their privacy policies to use customer work to train AI and only revising those policies after
After they
major
get caught?
backlash, to which it might be too little too late? Or what about companies like Apple and Nvidia training their AI on thousands of hours of YouTube content without permission? Allegedly, please don't sue me. The
Oh yeah. Allegedly, we ain't trying to lose no anything.
onslaught of every tech company racing to implement some half-assed AI feature to artificially pump those stock prices, pun intended, is in full force. From Google Chrome asking you to create a terrible, blurry theme with AI. That looks so
Looks like
fucking bad.
ass.
To Masterclass.com's useless
Mariah
Class
Carey.
TA that is about as helpful as your mom giving you job search advice in 2024. It is now everywhere. You can't escape some random AI feature on some random website that you never would have thought would need it, like this Notion document or social media sites. Meta AI is especially not useful. The search can tell you Ariana Grande's follow count, but not your own. It can
You know, I actually like using Meta AI. It's currently down right now. It's been down for a long minute. But whenever I have some type of issue or any type of question, I always ask the Meta AI because one, it's convenient, and two, it'll give you the answer and the reason why. So that's why I personally can vouch for this one.
can give you cat videos, but won't search for a specific one. I tried to search up a popular meme, "This is the move that made LeBron cry," but it just gave me videos of LeBron James crying. So then I added more details and specifications, and it still gave me videos of LeBron crying.
Hmm.
So I used
Well, maybe it's good that it doesn't know meme culture yet. That would kind of be terrifying. What if it could create and produce some memes for the meme culture before humans would think that they're personally relevant? And then the AI is like, hey, this is what you're going to laugh at, and this is what you're going to enjoy. And people unironically start enjoying it because they don't know it's made with AI. Damn, that'd be crazy.
used the normal search to do this, and I found the video I was looking for in like 2 seconds.
Athletic
Okay.
expertise. Oh, I get it. I don't look like the average athlete, but I am an absolute fucking unit on the basketball court. That was the move that made LeBron cry.
Why is this here? How does this
Bro, what the hell was
add
that?
to Instagram or
Holy
make my
moly, bro.
experience better? Despite what new technologies are setting out to do, AI is creating new problems faster than it can solve them. Whoa. Before you get all
Is this
upset
an
about
ad?
some robot drama, I've got something special designed by human
An
artists.
ad?
My first merch drop ever are gamer desk mats, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy with how these turned out. We got karaoke on the moon and tour
Okay.
of the galaxy, both
Cool.
in 2 colorways.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I probably would hang that up in a room, take some magic mushrooms, and have a good ass trip, bro.
These are thick, detailed, and super high quality.
Definitely
They'll be on
thick.
sale starting August 2nd, 2024 for patrons, and August
2024.
9th for everyone else. If you want a desk mat that literally no one else has, this is for you. AI
Man.
can't make this shit. You'll find the link in the
Yeah.
description. If you want to get when the desk mats come out, you can put
Yeah.
your email in on the website. I'm not gonna spam you. I'm not
Okay.
gonna use it for
All right, W ad, let's go.
Microsoft Copilot. This is a Windows 11 AI feature that captures constant screenshots of what you're doing on your computer. Whether you're showing your passwords, sensitive work documents, scrolling around in your bank accounts, private messages with your friends and family, video calls, watching XQC, any embarrassing or sensitive thing.
That's
Copilot
definitely
stores
embarrassing.
screenshots in plain text on your machine and uses what they call recall to help you pull things up easier. Sure, those screenshots don't get sent anywhere and stay on your computer locally for now. But do you
For
know how
now,
easy
for real.
that makes it for hackers to get a hold of all of your sensitive
Everything,
information
bro.
now? Before Recall officially launched, it already got hacked. Since all of that screenshot
Damn.
information is saved in the same folder on everyone's computer, hackers can easily write a script to locate and steal those snapshots. Microsoft misled press by saying that your data was encrypted, but when you're using the computer, it's not encrypted anymore. If this sounds terrible.
It
That's
is.
because it is. Recall. More from me later. With all the backlash from the nerd community, they
W
made this
joke.
feature optional, but it's on by default.
Oh, well, let me turn
Tech
this
companies
shit
lie
off.
about privacy all the time, like how incognito mode isn't
I'll do it
actually
after the video.
incognito. But this is an absolute
Incognito's not
failure in
incognito.
cybersecurity. Take it from me, cybersecurity expert over here. As if I needed another
W.
reason to distrust Microsoft.
Blitzscaling is prioritizing speed over efficiency. How do you go as fast as possible in order to be the first to scale?
Does AI blitzscale?
Well, it certainly seems like it today, doesn't it?
Figma, a tool to design user interfaces, not to be confused with words like Ligma or even Sigma, launched Figma AI to create mock-ups of apps, and had to quickly take it down because it was generating app mock-ups that looked eerily close to Apple's weather app. So you can guess what their AI was trained on. But now they're taking the time that they should have in the first place to refine it. It was rushed to meet a deadline. I can't use Photoshop without Adobe begging me to use their AI features, and have fully embraced it. From launching Firefly, their generative AI, with plans for 3D and video. Look what I can do to expand this Pokemon card art.
Man, all these AI tools being implemented in every single facet of life, it makes it mind-numbingly unbearable. It doesn't make me want to say, hey, AI is the future. It makes me want to say, damn, AI is the future. What the hell? This shit sucks. Like, you guys are rushing stuff that's not good. It's like everything's turning into the gaming community. Everything's starting to just suck.
Now with some tweaks, I can enter this into an art contest and take away spots from actual artists who put hundreds of hours into their work. And that's close to what happened. Pokemon's 2024 illustration contest had over 10,000 entries. When they
Wow,
announced the 300
that's a lot of people.
finalists, people were
Ooh.
quick to notice some suspicious
Ha.
artworks under similar aliases with the same initials V and K, breaking the entry limit rule, and had weird inconsistencies that are typically attributed to AI work. Pokemon Trading Card Twitter acknowledged this and removed those entries, giving back the spots to actual artists. I don't blame the judges for not catching on to this, as this is one of the first years that AI entries could really be a large issue. But it just goes to show how they almost got away with it. With stuff like
Almost.
this, people also started accusing other people of using AI in their artwork. AI art has become so much of a problem that
We
there
talked
are
about the
now
Yumi
AI
art situation.
detectors online. And I'm sorry for referring to it as AI art. I don't want to, as art is literally the expression of human creative skill and imagination. But these AI art detectors, while have good intentions, are still wildly inaccurate, whether that be accusing human art of being generated by AI or vice versa. When I was making my last video, I needed a dinosaur jungle background for a bit. Almost every image on Google was AI generated. I almost thought this one was human made until I was suspicious
Bro,
of
look at his
this
arms.
tree log bending into the water. The dinosaur's arms were weirdly long and uneven. The birds are kind of meshing into each other. The mountains point in weird directions. All of this screams AI. So I put it in one of these detectors and it told me this image was likely human made. But just to be extra sure, I located this image in Adobe's stock photo library and it stated that I was correct. This was generated with AI, and so is this one, and this one, and this one. I love the idea of having to pay $80 for images that someone just generated in
For
5
free.
seconds. And looks horrible. I just decided to draw it out with Microsoft Paint instead, and
looks
thought
good.
it turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
Like, this is an
it's-
image of a dinosaur,
good.
something that most people wouldn't think would be misleading to be real. But
But-
AI images can be misleading to the point where it's actively rewriting history. In Drew Gooden's video on this subject, he cites a documentary of a murderer that used AI to generate images of her that never existed for the documentary, without telling people it's AI. Of course, looking at this cursed image, you can tell that it's weird and not real. But when AI images are being mixed into our everyday lives in places we don't expect them, AI detection isn't at the top of people's minds. Like this factual-based documentary, or this image of the tank man in Tiananmen Square. This isn't real.
Of
This
course.
never happened. What happens when fake historical images rise to the top of Google search results? Or when
That's
it
crazy.
generates images of Asian Nazis, black founding fathers, and popes? And don't tell me people wouldn't fall for this. Boomers
Yes,
still
people would.
copy-paste chain messages on Facebook.
There's going to be a co-pilot for every profession. And if you think about that, that's huge.
And
That is
non-professional
huge.
activities, because it's going to write my kids' papers, right? My
Yeah.
kids' high school papers.
Yes, although the hope is that in the interaction with it, they'll learn to create much more interesting papers.
That's wishful thinking, bro. Last time I checked, kids can be pretty lazy. How do I know? Because I was one, bro. Some people try and cheat the past. Some people scrounge by. Some people actually care about their intelligence. But a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, you give them an insta win button, they're probably going to press the shit. They're probably not going to learn from it. They're probably just going to use the AI and then move on to the next thing, not learn anything, and be completely dependent on AI. That is the future. People being so completely dependent on AI that, well, for one, people already don't think for themselves. So to have something think for you on top of it, we're speed running the collapse of our society, to be honest.
Sure, buddy, and I wrote a much more interesting paper on the Scarlet Letter because of Cliff Notes. I'm sure asking AI to give you a synopsis on the book and then write
Sick
the
burn.
paper for you is great for absorbing material. And the
Sure, dude.
destructive optimism from people in the industry
That is
directly
destructive
reflects
optimism.
why it's being shoved in our faces in every application.
I mean, one of the problems with the current discourse is that it's too much of the fear-based versus hope-based. Imagine a tutor on every smartphone.
I don't know, man. Maybe people are fearful because it's creating serious problems before regulations or laws can keep up. I think I have the right to be more fearful than hopeful when AI can not
Preach.
only rig art competitions, but have even more serious consequences like changing history, creating an easier way for fucked up weirdos to make AI porn of people and celebrities without their consent or knowledge, scam people easier, or dangerous deepfakes of politicians during election season, all unchecked. I have AI images of me floating around, and
That's
these are the
wild.
ones of me clothed. But if that's just me,
That's
and
even
this is
more wild.
worldwide, then imagine the more popular creators or celebrities. Imagine some freak at school or work doing this to you or one of your family members who don't have a legal team to help take it down. I'm over 18. How do you think child predators are working with AI? And now with AI
Yikes.
video improving at a rapid rate, take all those worries and times it by 10. Take this AI video. This is live. Rigging, VTubers, and filters have been around for decades now, but it's all getting more detailed
That's
and more
wild.
realistic with machine learning,
So you
and
can just-
accessible to a
wow.
scary degree. They really asked
That's
themselves,
that's actually insane because I watch VTubers frequently, and I never once thought of the implications of having a VTuber that's essentially not even an enhance of their normal self, but having a completely different gender, race, whatever, right? That can definitely be possible with AI. And the better AI gets, the more realistic it's gonna be. Bro, you think you think you had it hard playing World of Warcraft 10 years ago trying to find a girlfriend? Oh man, everybody you watch that you think is a girl is really a dude with AI. That's insane.
whether they could and not whether they should. Anyway, look at my feet. Brought to you with love by
Is
Bombas.
a
You're
double
welcome.
ad, brother?
These socks are
Or sister?
comfortable, durable,
A double
don't have
ad,
annoying
sister.
toe seams, have 4-wheel drive, and most importantly,
A
are
double
safe,
ad,
or hands-on.
sister.
Whether I'm relaxing in my heels or ready.
We're talking about AI accelerating at a crazy rate, bro. YouTube, next thing you know, everybody's gonna have at least 3 or 4 ads because inflation's gotten so fucking bad.
Sponsor links
W
and
ad man, use the code, bro.
Sometimes AI gets things wrong without someone behind it having malicious intent, and these are called hallucinations. You might have seen how it tells you
What?
to put glue on your pizza to help the cheese from sliding off.
I want
What?
to talk about this term hallucination because it's a very human term. Why use such a human term for basically an AI that's just making mistakes?
A lot of these general capabilities are actually quite human-like. Sometimes when we don't know the answer to something, we will just make up an answer. We will rarely say, I don't know.
This is just a dumb answer. And how is that the standard that
I honestly just didn't feel like checking her, but yes, that sounds like some bullshit answer. For real, for real.
they're allowing?
Imagine a tutor on every smartphone.
We will just make up an answer.
But also they keep using human-like terms for it
Yes.
because
Yes, it'll change the way we see the language.
they don't
Yes.
want you to think of AI as just a computer algorithm. They want you to feel like it's an assistant, co-pilot, human. They want you to feel connected to
They want to
it, which is why the freak
parasocialize it.
CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, got roasted for dropping ChatGPT 4.0 with a voice that sounds weirdly horny for you.
I'm doing a live demo, and frankly, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Can you help me calm my nerves a little bit?
Oh, you're doing a live demo right now? That's awesome.
I want you to tell him a bedtime story about robots and love.
Oh, a bedtime story about robots and love? I got you covered.
And they asked Scarlett Johansson to voice this AI, but she declined. And then when GPT 4.0 released, people noticed that it sounded weirdly similar to her.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Hi, I'm Samantha.
For 4, and then exhale slowly.
I gave it to myself, actually.
In the movie Her, where she plays a human-like AI that develops a weird relationship with a lonely guy. This is Sam Altman's favorite movie, he said.
He's gonna
paused the
try and bring it to
rollout for
life,
this voice
100%.
assistant as Scarlett Johansson sued OpenAI
I bet she
for
did.
this and called for more legislature around
I bet she
AI.
did.
But let's
Sue
go
the
back to the
ass.
CTO
Yup.
of OpenAI.
An AI that's just making mistakes.
A lot of these general capabilities are actually quite human-like. Sometimes when we don't know the answer to something, we will just make up an answer. We will rarely say, I don't know.
Hang on, I have to put on my bullshit detectors. I've been saving these. How is this a valid explanation if your goal is to get AI on everyone's device? How about instead of AI making things up it doesn't actually know, you code it to tell you it doesn't know, or that the answer is low confidence? I mean, people have noticed that chatbots
That is
are
also a thing
increasingly
that should happen.
useless, as I demonstrated with Meta's AI and Masterclass's AI being so dumb. Google's AI Gemini is not safe either.
I haven't
When you
used this one.
searched something before Gemini, it would show you a top result preview
Yeah.
with a link to the source, and that worked pretty well. Now Gemini gives you stupid answers like telling you that pregnant women should smoke 2 to 3 cigarettes per day.
Bro,
when
no
we know
way.
it should be more
Really?
like 8 to 10. Or simple things
That's
like how long
insane.
ago 1919 was. 20 years. They've rebranded their old
Bro,
search
they're-
and made
they're-
it worse at the same time.
Yes.
Because it's referencing satire sites like The Onion and forums like Reddit posts as top results. The AI
Why?
rush to the top very much feels like a race to the bottom. Fun fact, if you go to udm14.com, you can go back to their old search before AI. Rushing this stuff
Cool.
out is partially why they didn't refine it to be actually good. And while AI is improving now at an exponential rate,
The
it's
first to
also
suck.
bad and inaccurate because it's already stagnating. I'm sure they'll come up with something to make that untrue. But for now, AI companies are already complaining about not having enough data for AI training in just a couple years. But if you have access to basically all of the internet of data to steal from, and it's still not enough data, maybe it's a
It's not
model
ready
problem
yet, bro.
and not a data problem. If the history of the internet
They're trying to
isn't
make a
enough,
super
maybe
AI.
AI isn't as smart as they
No.
want you to think it is.
Not yet. Not yet. It's gonna take a while.
AI is only as good as what it's given by a human. AI cannot create something genuinely new that humans can't create.
Did the model see any clips of Ferdinand to know what a bull in a china shop should look like? Was it a fan of SpongeBob?
Bro, that's Mr. Krabs' cousin.
By the way, my prompt for this crab said nothing about a mustache.
AI generates the average amalgamation of human work, and it only works off the backs of artists. So what's the end goal here? It's never going to be better than human-produced work because human-produced work is all it knows. The best it can
That's
do is
true.
an uncanny recreation of things that resemble human work but aren't. And we'll look into exactly why a bit later in the video. What I can see it doing is saving companies money for things like stock footage, where instead of sending a guy out with a drone, they can create new stock footage with a click of a button and a subscription cost. And it can trick people with scams, catfishing, non-consensual images and videos. Do you want to live in a world watching footage of places that don't exist, things that never happened, and people who aren't real? The world is already isolating enough.
Preach. It definitely
The
is.
effects are crazy.
Oh, the AI friends. Oh man.
It's dank. I could eat one of these every day.
Oh hell no. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
Messy.
AI companies are getting desperate for more content. The New
Bro.
York Times, reported by The Verge, reported by me, says they got so desperate for more training data, OpenAI developed an AI called Whisper to transcribe over 1 million hours of YouTube videos to train ChatGPT. When asked about it, OpenAI knew it was legally questionable, but believed it was fair use. At least a few Google employees, including
To steal millions upon millions of videos instantly to train AI, bro, how the hell is that even close to fair use? Like, you can argue this video is fair use way easier than you can argue what the hell I just heard.
the CEO of YouTube,
It's not
have
even in the
seen
same basket,
unconfirmed
bro.
reports of them doing this, and possibly using YouTube videos to train Sora, their AI video generating model. The OpenAI CTO was confronted about this, to which this was her reaction.
What data was used to train Sora?
We used publicly available data and licensed data.
So, videos on YouTube?
I gotta hear this.
I'm actually not sure about that.
Oh, plausible deniability. Good old CIA tactic. Oh, this might be a CIA sting operation, or what's it called? Sleeper operation? And then we don't find out about it till like 2038 or some shit.
Sister in Christ, you're a piece of shit. It was confirmed that they did use Shutterstock to train.
Okay. Videos from Facebook, Instagram?
You know, if they were publicly available,
Yes.
available,
If it was publicly available, yes, we stole it.
publicly available to use,
Yeah, we stole it.
there might be
Yeah.
data, but
Might be.
I'm not sure.
You know
Oh,
that
I'm not
she
sure.
knows. She's the CTO. Also, the CTO of
Bro,
OpenAI
she
was
is a
saying how they
POS,
train
bro.
on publicly available content, as if that means it's now available for commercial use. Publicly available does not mean it's
I like her aspect ratio. This takes me back to like 07, 08 YouTube.
free to use.
Before
And
flat
OpenAI
screen
isn't the only
and full
one doing
screen.
this. An investigation by Proof News revealed that over 173,000 YouTube video transcripts were
Wow.
used to train AI from Apple, Nvidia, Bloomberg, who ironically have conducted some of these interviews I've been referencing. What happens
Interesting.
is someone wrote some code to download YouTube video transcripts using YouTube's API if you're a nerd, and then they put it into a group called a dataset. These datasets, I don't give a fuck, they get sold and moved around to train different AI models. And this dataset had YouTube video transcripts from people like Mr. Beast, Jacksepticeye, Marcus Brownlee, PewDiePie, Jarvis Johnson, Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, not mine for whatever reason. Was I not good enough? Wow. I just wrote into React.
I guess not, sis.
Wow. All of these YouTube videos without anyone's permission, not the creators, not Google, which by the way, you'd absolutely have to pay for. But don't be fooled. There are no heroes in this story. Google is not innocent either. They're
course
not
not.
protecting us
Bro,
out of
it's
the
Google.
goodness of their hearts. They don't want other people downloading YouTube videos to train AI because Google wants it for themselves.
Of
Google is
course.
also using YouTube videos from its own creators to train its AI.
Now, this is something that's harder to really argue because it is their site, right? Obviously, I'm not in support of them doing this, but I would definitely love to see them go to court over this shit because it's like, bro, it's their website.
Models.
Like,
Now,
what the
high-quality
hell?
Data is an ultra commodity for how valuable it is to train AI. A Google spokesperson responded to this saying that this was permitted under agreements with YouTube creators. All right, I'm tired. Time for a
So who
gal with a
agreed?
different outfit. Outside Outside of just video, models are being trained on just about everything without permission, from art to forums and even news articles. The New York Times, Chicago Tribune, the Denver Post, other publications, and groups of authors are all suing OpenAI and Microsoft, companies who will probably continue to get sued for copyright infringement. But this is while other publications like Vox Media, The Atlantic, and Time have all signed licensing deals to OpenAI to allow them to train off of their employees' work. Reddit too has signed
That's
licensing
big.
deals to hand
They had
over
to
their
pay a lot
content
of
to
money,
train
huh?
AI. People have to agree to terms and conditions to use Reddit, Adobe products, YouTube, and other websites, but they didn't know that these terms would be quietly and retroactively changed in order to exploit their contents and their work. At what point are these
Yeah, that's
companies protecting
definitely
their
should be
copyrights and
illegal.
IPs with an
If it's
iron
not, it should
fist
be.
while infringing on individual intellectual copyright? I guess that's why there's a ton of lawsuits. But this is also hilarious because
Exactly.
even if AIs do train on licensed content, which they tout as ethical, it still doesn't mean that it is. I
Ethical
could be
my
naive in my
ass.
thinking here, but I don't understand how companies have the right to license out other people's content. Hosting sites are responsible for monitoring the content that goes on there, but that doesn't suddenly mean they own that content.
I don't think you could. I agree. I wouldn't say that they own the content. Absolutely not. If anything, I think they could say that they own the space that that content is taking up, right? So at the extreme, I could see the only thing that they could do is just say, hey, well, we're going to delete your stuff. We're going to delete your videos, delete your channel. We're going to delete all of this because we can, because it's taking up space on our servers or whatever. I feel like that is the literal only thing that they could do. But like you've already said, man, they've retroactively changed the policies since when was this? 2024 February, and then they changed it like months later. Like they're always changing it. That's crazy.
As if they own it. I don't understand how this is legal at all. Stack Overflow, a coding website, did this and licensed out all of their users' code to be trained on AI. And a good amount of people got so pissed that they deleted all of their code off the site and abandoned it. Reddit
Good.
content being sold also explains why Google's Gemini keeps referencing Reddit posts as facts. It doesn't seem like they're vetting the quality or factualness of the content they're being fed and spitting back out. Don't even get me started on Facebook. That place has become a cesspool for AI. You like John Cena making a sandcastle
So
of
John Cena,
John Cena?
I can't
Industry
see him.
leaders and venture capitalists keep saying that AI is getting better and smarter as there's more data to train on. But as the internet is flooded with more data generated by AI,
It's
the
gonna train off
AI gets
itself.
trained on other AI, creating
Yeah,
an average of an average with hallucinations in it. It just
yeah.
becomes AI on
A feedback loop of mediocrity.
PCP. Where did this mustache come from? Where did this beer come from? Purdue University did a study and found that ChatGPT was wrong over half the time when they tested it with programming questions. And 77%
Wow.
of the time it was full of shit. And 40% of the time people overlooked the misinformation. And yeah,
Huh.
it's wrong sometimes, but I wanted to know why. And it's because of fundamentally how it's built. Because in simple terms, generative AI is just trained to predict the next word. It doesn't pull from a
Okay.
large database of facts and knowledge. It's currently an enhanced autocomplete system. So it's more trained to just write
Autocomplete doesn't
plausible
even
sounding
work all
statements
the
and
time
not
anyway.
actually be a tutor
So great.
trained on factual information. It's kind of like asking that guy who thinks he knows everything but doesn't. So like half the time he just spews out random shit that makes him sound smart, but like he's
Mm,
not. It just he just wants to sound
mm.
Okay,
smart.
so everyone's
Understandable.
encountered a crazy person who's drunk off their ass at a cocktail party who says really odd things, or at least every adult has. And, that's not like the world didn't end.
So since stealing
What?
content is clearly resulting in the grand slam of lawsuits for AI companies, they've turned to other weird solutions for running out of content, like creating synthetic data for them to train on,
Fake
created by
data?
other AI models. They
That
want to
what?
train AI on AI. This is just AI inbreeding. They want this. So we haven't talked about AI music yet.
I'm just trying to figure out how that would work for it to actually become successful, because if you're still training on bad I know some AIs can learn from their mistakes and become better, but to train this much data, this constantly, this frequently, I feel like it'll make way more mistakes than it does fixing it.
Musician and YouTuber Rumi had myself and a couple other very experienced and talented musicians on his channel to test whether or not we could decipher an AI voice or a human voice. And
Okay.
even though all of us have listened to thousands of hours of music and vocals, we had a hard time with like half of them. It's permeating through music faster than people realize or can keep up with. It took me way too long to realize that the BBL Drizzy sample was actually AI generated. A bit more obvious to tell that this viral audio is also AI generated.
Ooh, fancy pants, Rich McGee over here. Fuck you.
And don't get me wrong, some of this shit generated by AI is actually hilarious. But it gets you thinking about the future. If you go on Spotify and search up Workday Jazz or something of the sort, you'll get Spotify curated playlists that literally sound the same, with first name, last name, or blank trio artists, with no bios or photos of themselves. And people have begun to notice this. So I checked it out for myself.
That definitely is the same shit. There's like there's no heart into this. There's no heart. I love jazz, but what the hell is this?
Either Spotify's algorithm
This is
is
terrible.
really good at picking out songs with a similar vibe, or people
Terrible.
have started to theorize that Spotify themselves might be generating AI music for
Okay,
Spotify
now that's a big
curated playlist.
Now that's starting to sound like a little bit of a what's it called? Conspiracy. I ain't gonna lie, that sound like a conspiracy, and if it's true, that's big. That is definitely big.
Where all the streaming profits would just
Go back to them.
themselves. Allegedly,
Yeah.
this is not proven in the
Yeah,
scrutiny and people on the internet.
I'm telling you, that's big. If you say something like that, you better have some proof, because that will get you hemmed up.
When Spotify is already known for terrible revenue.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
can't
I've heard that
directly
before.
accuse them of this, but it is fishy nonetheless. The AI company behind
BBL
BBL,
Drizzy.
Udio, and another music generative AI, Suno, are actually getting
Suno,
sued
Coolio,
by the big
Drulio,
record
Mario.
labels,
Who the hell?
UMG, Sony Music, and
Universal.
Warner Records.
Okay.
So good luck with that. Goddamn.
Let's go.
They're fucking cooked.
They're all cooking each other. That's the crazy part, bro. Because somebody like Universal or whoever that's super big, they're like, yeah, I don't like that you did that, but maybe I could get away with it. You feel me?
And I hate the way big labels enforce their copyright system as much as the next guy, especially on YouTube. You could hum the melody of a song for 5 seconds and they'd steal all the revenue of your 20-minute video. But in this specific case,
Don't joke like
they're
that.
absolutely right. Because the only way for AI to create music from a text prompt is if it's been trained on thousands and thousands of hours of copyrighted songs. Whether they're on a label or not. Artists
100%.
still own
They would have
creative
to
and
steal it.
intellectual copyrights
Yeah.
to their own work. I'm pretty sure I'm not a
100%.
fucking lawyer.
Well, it would make sense because, bro, these AI is not like they're creating good music out of nowhere, or the people that are incorporating this are training their AI off music that they've made themselves. Obviously not. 100% not. They gotta be legitimately stealing. They gotta be taking copyrighted music, throw that shit in the filter, change it up a little bit, spit it out. Like that just has to be how it's working, bro. There's no way that it's coming legitimately or illegally after the Spotify shit that you just showed me, bro. Like, no, I don't believe it.
But I think that's
This is a great video, by the way.
Between a person consuming a bunch of art and then creating something inspired by their favorite work,
They
and
still put their own
AI
pieces
is that
into it.
AI just
AI
takes
has no
data
soul.
and portrays it as
Yes,
its own. It's not
that's the difference.
necessarily interpreting art. It's not
Exactly.
coming up with thoughts of its own, making artistic
No, it's not.
decisions.
It's just taking
inspired
pieces
by
and throwing
things
it together.
likes. AI is inherently uncreative.
You know, the way that I see it,
Because it's artificial.
this is
Yeah,
a
it's
tool
true.
for extending creativity.
And this is why I say, and that's exactly the way she puts it. That is the only way you should be using AI. But we all know people are going to do more than just, hey, AI, help me out a little bit, or maybe give me some ideas. People are going to try and just use the AI and say, here, you do all the work, and then I reap all the rewards, bro. Humans are lazy, bro. And if you had an automatic win button, 9 out of 10 of you would just spam the shit. I only say 9 out of 10 because there's gonna be that one person that, oh no, not me. I'd be honest, bro. I would never do shit. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay,
I
sure.
mean, is it though? People's reactions to AI at a glance kind of feels like when tablets for art, DAWs for music, and digital photography became popular. And old school guys thought their industries were being ruined because technology was advancing. But the real difference is that tools for those arts became way more accessible. Now everyone has access to a camera for photography, for example.
By the way, that wasn't always the case. So, like, what the old artists were going through is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So, I wouldn't take that and just say, oh, yeah, they didn't know what they were talking about. Like, yes, cameras are easy access now, cars are easy access now. This was not the case when these inventions had first came out. It was the rich using these things to their advantage. And then eventually somebody created competition and then they were able to hand it out to more people. So, yeah, they are the people that she's talking about were 100% right. It did change. And technology did create a type of gap. When it comes to anything in technology, like whenever the rich people can get it first, it always widens the gap to everything. And then it's up to everybody else in society to try and catch up, if they even could.
Or a music studio on your laptop, advancements that democratize tools. But I guess it's all about perspective too, because where's the line? This person didn't
That's a
hand
good
place
question.
every pixel, they used a program called Blender to help them make it. Personally, I don't mind that, I really like this. But what if someone uses AI to draw a background and then makes original content on top of it? A lot of things are going to
I think
become
that's fine
hypey.
as well. Even then, like in the last video that we talked about AI, it's like that having the AI create a background and then you draw on top of it, I feel like that one is worse than the former, which would be you draw the background and then AI throws some shit on top of it. Because at least you put your work down first. You put your essence into the art before the AI touched it, right? Having AI touch up the stuff that you've already made, I think personally is way better than having the AI throw some shit out there and then you're like, okay, let me put this, and this. Of course, at the end of the day, they're both 50-50, but having the 50 where you put your input first and then the AI helps, I think it just makes it more creative. It makes you put your essence into it way easier, personally.
What about using code to distort images to make art? There are also tools that can be used in shitty ways, like Photoshop and Facetune, and now video effects that can morph and reshape your body to make you skinnier, prettier, whatever.
Yes,
Ultimately, that
it's
line may be
insane.
up to
It's
you and your
wild.
perspective, and that's
That's also
really hard
true.
to argue. So
It
isn't
is.
AI just giving more access to artistic tools? And that's the thing. I don't think you can call this thing a tool for art. Is typing a prompt into a robot really creating art? This is just telling someone on Fiverr what you want and they make it for you and then you say you made it.
Oh man, explaining the middle management system simply. That is exactly it. People saying that, hey, you do this, and then when some shit comes out, say, yeah, I did it.
Of creative agency out of making art. Rather than making new opportunities to be creative, this removes the creative process entirely.
It
Whether
does.
we like it or not, this
It
is
does.
just devaluing creative work more than it already is undervalued.
I
Why
agree.
is the goal to replace creative jobs? Pretty quickly, this is going to cause people to be like, why would I learn how to draw when the AI can do it better than me?
Which is a terrible way to look at drawing, man. If you want to draw, draw. You should draw because you want to draw, not because you want to try and draw for like a flex. Like how some people, they'll pick up anything because it makes them look cool. It doesn't matter if they're interested in it or not. It's like this will make me look cool, so I'm gonna get into it. Yeah, 100%.
Why would I learn how to do music when the AI can do it better than me and faster? Real quick, since I'm trying
Sure.
to cover as
I think that would hinder human creativity for a lot of people, and a lot less people will have an outlet to, you know, uh, they will have less of an outlet to personify themselves, to express themselves. That's an easier way to say it, right? A way for them to say, "Hey, this is me, a piece of art," or "Hey, this is me, a piece of music," or "Hey, this is me, a YouTube video," because there's AI videos, and it doesn't take effort. It's just some bullshit like top 10 dog facts that they got from fucking Google, and then the AI put the images up and the AI voiceover, and then boom, it's printing money because they do these generic ass videos like 10 uploads a day.
As much as I can. You may have seen that AI is bad for the environment, and if you're a confused and silly girly like me, you might be wondering how that's the case. Machine learning takes a shit ton of computing power. According to this PDF that looks credible enough that I found online, ChatGPT
It was AI generated.
3 took about 1,300 megawatts to train. Those words mean
13,000
nothing to me.
gigawatts!
There's nothing going on up here when I hear that.
It's
So
a
to
lot
put it
of
into
energy.
perspective, you'd have to stream Shape of You by Ed Sheeran 19.5 billion times to reach 1,300 megawatts. 19.5
Megawatts!
billion times to reach
That's a lot.
1,300 megawatts. Or
That's a
power
lot.
130 US homes for an entire
There you go.
year.
There you go.
So,
That's
yeah.
yeah, it takes up a lot of energy. It's not good for the environment,
Listen,
100%.
guys, I don't want to only complain in this video, even though I've spent a majority of this video complaining. So far, I've
Hey, you've been preaching.
covered how generative AI takes away from real artists, how they train on work that isn't theirs without permission, how they can be wildly inaccurate or inappropriate, and how it can be dangerous in society without proper care, which it's not being given the proper care.
Of course not.
Not at all.
No, it's
not
not.
at all.
Not until some type of disaster happens where a lot of people lose their life due to AI will there ever be some type of implementations or safety guards, because there's no reason to. There's nobody in the lobby besides the companies, the lobbyists. Those are the only people in the lobby. The people working for the company saying, "Hey, you should preach our shit." Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much cool
Yeah, where the angry soccer moms at? Unless you get the soccer moms mad, bro, shit is not gonna change.
art out there by humans.
What
Why
about
do
the
we need
children?
this?
We need them.
Art is like the one thing that is so unique to human expression. I don't see how this is useful. Advancing technology
Cabbage
for
baby.
the sake of advancing technology doesn't always mean that it's in a positive direction.
True.
Sure, I can generate an image of Mario and Sonic making out, but you
What the
know
hell?
what's funnier is knowing that someone drew it out by hand.
That's
But
way
that
better.
doesn't mean I'm against advancing technology. I've just been talking about generative AI this entire time. Many people, including me, think AI should be used as a tool to make our lives easier.
I agree.
Not to replace artists. Why
I
can't
agree.
AI do my taxes or fold the laundry that
It might mess up your taxes. And if the AI was on the tax website, the IRS website, I guarantee you're going to be paying the IRS way more than if you bought somebody else to do it down at the H&R Block or TurboTax or wherever the hell you else doing your taxes, bro. Be careful. The IRS, man, hey, they sneaky, bro. Be careful.
you're doing right now.
Be
Google actually
careful.
uses CAPTCHA data to train its AI to recognize fonts better, which helps digitize
Okay.
books. That's cool. A task
That
that
is
makes me
cool.
wonder how ancient people really had nothing else to do than copy an entire book by hand. It helps AI recognize
That was a whole career field now gone due to technology. Do you feel bad for those people? Of course you don't.
photos of traffic lights, because God knows you can't, which helps improve Google Maps, an app that also uses machine learning to predict traffic patterns and best
Huh.
routes. Non-generative
Interesting.
AI can help interpret
That means it's training its data to learn how humans function. Are humans that predictable? I'd say so.
data for analysis and trends. It's helped analyze patterns so well that it's helped advance science. It improves Spotify and YouTube recommendations. Improve the selection
How to
tool
breathe.
in Photoshop rather than generating crap for me. AI and machine learning are already integrated everywhere that we just don't see or notice. Generative AI is just so in your face that it's easiest for companies to sell to consumers because it's so visible and visual. We just can't help but turn our focus here. How about instead of generating music, unless it's an AI Plankton cover, we stick to tools like Adobe Podcast that's helped save a ton of broken audio.
You'll find AI that will enhance any speech to sound as if it were recorded in a studio. Toggle it on and off to hear how this recording originally sounded.
Feel free to play around
Wow.
with recording your own voice or editing
pretty good.
ours.
AI can isolate and enhance vocals and audio from noisy old recordings like the Beatles did in their final record, Now and Then. They tried to isolate John Lennon's demo vocals for this song in 1995, but didn't have the technology to do it well enough. I think of ChatGPT as a starting point to learn about convoluted topics that can be difficult to understand, like mortgage types, interest rates, loans, and it puts it in plain English so I can actually understand what to even start looking up from there. I was shown shown recently this note-taking AI that will join your meeting and at the end, give you an insanely well-detailed list of notes that no one had to take. But again, this makes me wonder where the audio of my meeting is going. Is it being saved? Are there privacy concerns?
That's
Do
a
they
real
sell my
question.
data? I
That's
mean,
a
no one
real good
else is
question.
selling my data. Let me cosplay as a consultant or someone who's just thought about this for more than 5 seconds. After ChatGPT spits out something, why doesn't it just cite a few sources that are ranked most relevant or where it matched most of its information from? This can be a
That'd be
weighted
very
score
useful.
based on the credibility of the source and how many
Yeah.
sources say the same thing.
You know, that reminds me of like Ground News. This is not an ad or whatever, but there's an app called Ground News, and it'll tell you whenever some event happens, whether it's technology, science, war, whatever. Sometimes even some good news pops up, right? It'll tell you like, hey, the CEO of Starbucks just changed, which just happened yesterday. So it'll tell you like the political spheres, like the right and then the left, and it's like they're of course they're gonna say the same thing, like the CEO changed, but the actual story, the way that they tell it is going to be different from the right or the left perspective. So I think that, yeah, maybe we should add this. I think it'll be very helpful.
One answer from Reddit should not pop up first. Why doesn't ChatGPT return a confidence score with its answer when asked a factual question?
Confidence, I
What if
made
there
it
were more
up.
refined AI models available that were just for things like scholarly articles and scientific facts? If the AI industry focused more on education and focused on getting the facts right, it could actually
The
be helpful
facts.
in some way. Because right now, I'd still trust Wikipedia for my paper more than ChatGPT. More tools like this are
Understandable.
being developed where you can just upload a bunch of your documents, research, and the AI can help you dig through information in just your files, which I can actually see being useful for research in school. In a
That
perfect
is very
world,
useful.
AI-generated images and video would be correctly labeled. And AI didn't come out of
That's
nowhere.
important.
This is something that we've been moving towards longer than people realize. From our friend
For a long
Clippy
time, man.
to Google's Doodle
Over a
AI
decade.
that we can now recontextualize given where we are today, to fantasizing about sexy AI ladies in film and media,
Yep.
to Alexa
Yep.
and Google Home. If they released today,
Yep.
they'd just be rebranded
Siri.
as AI
Yep.
products. If you've been here a while, first of all, thank you, but you might remember that I made a video on AI and a correction video some years ago, and
What
my
happened?
thoughts have drastically changed from then. As we learn more
Understandable.
information about stuff, we change our minds and learn and...
Yup. And grow and become.
Hello?
Hello?
I gotta go. The video's too fucking long. Okay, bye!
Understandable. Shout out to all the Patreons. Yeah. This is a great video. It was sent in from the Discord. So if you're new here and you liked what you saw, you enjoyed the conversation or my perspective on it, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and join the Discord so you could also drop videos like this for me to react to in the link down below. It's your boy KhunShawn, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Amazing video. Gabby Bell. This was great. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.